The mop slapped wet against the tiles, echoing through the cold fluorescent-lit hallway of the military training base. Her boots were worn, her head down, her shoulders rounded not from weakness but from years of hiding. Nobody looked at her twice. To the others, she was just a janitor. A quiet, middle-aged woman who kept her head down and followed orders, but Sergeant Miller didn't like her. "You missed a spot," he barked, tossing a mop her way with a smirk. "Better clean up your mess before the real soldiers walk through." Here the woman caught the mop silently. No words, just a nod. She bent down and resumed her work, methodical, focused like the years hadn't dulled her discipline. But as she scrubbed beneath the hallway's radiator, her sleeve slipped. That's when everything stopped. The sergeant had turned to leave, amused with himself. But out of the corner of his eye he saw it. The coiled black serpent inked on her forearm. A tattoo as sharp and deliberate as a knife's edge. One that very few men had seen in real life. Even fewer had survived to talk about. His voice cracked before he even realized it. "Wait, hold on." Stepped closer, squinting. "Is that?" The woman looked up at him slowly, then tugged the sleeve down without a word. Sergeant Miller's smirk vanished. That's the Black Viper insignia," he stammered. "That unit was decommissioned years ago. Only legends wore that mark. Covert ops. Deep shadow teams. I thought it was a myth." The hallway was dead silent. Even the other recruits who had been joking nearby grew still. The name Black Viper wasn't just military folklore, it was sacred. Whispers of missions that never made the reports. Lives saved in the dead of night. Enemies silenced before they could speak. Ghost stories passed from one deployment to the next. "I didn't think anyone actually survived," Miller murmured. The woman stood slowly, straightening her back. Her eyes were clear now, no longer soft or submissive. They were sharp, calculating, unafraid. "I was one of them," she said quietly. "Call sign, widow." Miller took a shaky step back. "But you're a janitor," he said, as if trying to convince himself this wasn't real. You clean floors?" She held his gaze. "I've cleaned blood off those floors too, but it wasn't mine." The silence that followed hit harder than a gunshot. Behind them, a young cadet dropped his clipboard. "She's widow? The widow?" He whispered to another. "No way." "Widow died in the Aegean siege," said the other. "That's what the debrief said." She turned to them slowly. "A ghost doesn't die. She just disappears." Sergeant Miller's face had gone pale, his knees locked. His mouth opened again, this time with something between an apology and a plea. I didn't know." She stepped toward him only once. It's not threatening, but enough to make him stiffen like a fresh recruit. "That's the problem," she said. "You never ask who people are, only see what they wear." By now, the hallway had filled with young soldiers, instructors, even a few higher officers, drawn by the tension. Whispers spread like wildfire. The mop lady was widow. The Black Viper ghost was back. The stories were real. A grizzled colonel appeared at the end of the corridor. He pushed through the crowd, stopping dead in his tracks when he saw her face. His lip trembled. "Claire?" he said, almost reverently. "Claire Hawthorne." She nodded once. His face crumbled with emotion. "I thought you were gone." "I signed your discharge myself." "You signed my cover," she replied. "I wanted out. You helped me disappear." He looked down, ashamed. "You came back to a mop." "No," she said softly. "I came back to see if the next generation had any heart left." Her eyes scanned the young faces staring at her, wide-eyed, stunned into silence. Some looked away in shame. Some looked inspired. One even looked on the verge of tears. "I saw too many who only followed orders, not purpose." She continued, "Too many who judged on rank, not integrity. So I chose this uniform to see who still noticed people beneath it." Sergeant Miller finally found his voice. What do you want me to do?" She handed the mop back to him. "Start by scrubbing your attitude. You're not too good for this work. None of you are." Then she turned and walked past him. Every step, a quiet storm of dignity. The colonel didn't stop her. No one did. She left the mop and the echoes behind, disappearing just like the stories always said she would. But for every soul in that hallway, nothing would ever be the same again. They never looked at a janitor the same way. They never judged his sleeve before seeing the scars beneath it. And they never forgot the woman who carried a mop like a ghost carries. A mission. Her name wasn't on the wall of honor, but it echoed in their hearts forever.